Bonjour. Would you be able to spot an imparfait or a passé composé or a présent in a sentence in French? Well, we are going to do just that today. Now, before I start, remember there is a support guide available with this lesson and any lessons that I post on YouTube. So please join my member, become a member and join, and you get access to live lessons as well as lots of other goodies. What we are about to do today is identify the tenses in sentences, okay? And I would like to concentrate on two things. The IR verbs, as in the regular IR verbs, such as finir, and the tenses imparfait, passé composé, and présent. Should I say présent, imparfait, passé composé? I don't know the order. Anyway, have a look at these sentences. Il a très vite réagi en apprenant la nouvelle. Vous ne choisissez jamais la même chose. Le coureur a franchi la ligne d'arrivée à toute allure. Nous réfléchissons à ce problème lorsque tu as téléphoné. Nous réfléchissions à ce problème lorsque tu as téléphoné. See, I made a mistake here. Anyway, in order to identify the tenses in each of these sentences, we need to know what the endings of the tenses are, okay? Now have a look at this, and I think I'm very proud of this actually, because I think it's a good way for you to see what, in general, the endings of verbs are and be able to identify it as being present or passé composé or and so on. For IR verbs, okay, the endings are as follow. Marcher, for example, I'm going to take marcher as an example, okay, marcher, because it's an IR verb, in case you wonder why I'm using that, it's a regular verb. So, which means that when we are going to conjugate it in the present tense, we just get rid of ER and we add those special endings. For je, it's marche. For tu, it's marche, yes. For il, elle, on, it's marche. For nous, it's marchons. For vous, it's marché. For il, elle, it's marche with an ENT. So it's quite simple in some ways, okay? So we know that if it has these endings, it's a present tense, okay? And we are using an ER verb. For IR verbs, okay, the endings are somewhat different. So, finir, I take finir because it's a common second group to finish. Well, the endings, you do the same, you get rid of IR and you add IS. So, je finis, I finish, tu finis, il finit, nous finissons, vous finissez, ils finissent. Okay, it's always the same for IR. But for irregular verbs such as RE or OIR, verbs, okay, it's somewhat different depending on the verb you're using. Anything goes. So sometimes you will see ending in ES or X, SX. I mean, have a look at that. But when it comes from nous, it's always the same. ONS, EZ for vous and ENT. Though for vous, there are some exceptions, but we are not doing that. So when you see these kind of endings, we are in the present tense territory. Not sure why I said that. Anyway, when it comes to the imparfait endings, it's different. So you will take a verb, but if you see that the ending is ion, iye, it's going to be imparfait. Though the conditional has the same endings, we do not use the same way. So ignore the conditional. I'm not sure why I said that, because it will confuse you. Just concentrate on this imparfait. For example, we take marcher. Marcher, you drop ER again, and you add these endings, and suddenly we have an imparfait. Je marchais, tu marchais, so I used to walk, I was walking, you used to walk, you were walking, and so on. So it's an action that took place in the past, but somehow carried on. So I was walking, I used to walk over a period of time. And then, when you want to identify a passé composé in a sentence, it is all in the name, composé. So it's composed of two things. It's composed of an auxiliary, auxiliaire, and a past participle. For IR verbs, it has an I at the end of the past participle. So, j'ai chanté. So that shows me it is a passé composé. It has the verb avoir, because that's one of the auxiliary in the present tense. J'ai, I have, and then chanter. okay? It can sometimes be je suis if you are referring to a verb that has être in its passé composé form, okay? That needs être in its passé composé form. Here I'm using j'ai as an example. J'ai fini for IR, so past participle in I, okay? Again, the auxiliary can be avoir or être. For irregular verb, and that RE, but it can be OIR too, by the way, it is the same, auxiliary, but the endings of their past participle vary. It's complicated, okay? So, j'ai pris, I have taken. Okay, the thing is that you need to know how to conjugate to have and to be, at least in the present tense. So avoir and être. Can you do that? Can you conjugate these? Yeah, so here we go. J'ai, tu as, il, elle, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils, elles ont. Okay, ils, elles ont. Okay, so we've got this quite simply, and you add a past participle. Okay, that makes a composed verb. If the verb is used with être, you have not j'ai, but je suis, I am, plus past participle. Je suis, tu es, il, elle, on est, nous sommes, vous êtes, okay, il and elles sont, okay, quite simply. Now we've identified three tenses, présent, passé composé, imparfait. Let's have a look at our sentences and let's try to figure out which tenses are used within these sentences, okay? Première phrase. Il a très vite réagi en apprenant la nouvelle. Can you see the verb here? Can you see if it is composed or not? Okay. Il a très vite réagi en apprenant la nouvelle. If I look at that, I can see that réagi is the verb, okay? But it's not the verb on its own because I on its own, it's not an ending. If we look at that, I can't see just I as a present tense, okay? I cannot see just I as an imparfait. However, I can see I, can you see it here, as a past participle. But every past participle comes with an auxiliary. So it has to be composed. Here it is. That's the auxiliary. So suddenly we can see that it's a passé composé. It's a past tense. I mean, the objective ultimately of this exercise is for you in an exercise such as translation in an exam, or if you want it to be accurate, okay, or if you heard that in a conversation, you would know that if it's composed, it's in the past. We are talking in the past, okay? So, il a très vite réagi, he has reacted very quickly when hearing the news, en apprenant, when learning the news, hearing, and that's known as a present participle, but that's not what we are doing today. So, passé composé it is. Numéro 2. Vous ne choisissez jamais... la même chose. No, it is. Vous ne choisissez jamais la même chose. Okay? Now, we have a negation, but that's not what the exercise is about. Ne jamais means never. So, you never choose the same thing. But what tense is that? So you have never chosen, you never choose, you will never choose, you are not choosing, you were not choosing. What is it? The way we are going to identify this tense is by looking at the end of the verb. So here's the verb. Can you see that? And I'm going to identify the EZ. Does it come with IEZ? No, doesn't have IEZ. Let's have a look at the ending of the imparfait, IEZ. It doesn't come with IEZ. Let's have a look at the ending of the présent. EZ for the IR verbs, which we're concentrating on today, IC. Okay, so it seems like we have an IC going on here, which is a présent, quite simply. So we identify this sentence as being a present tense. Can you see that? Okay. You're doing so well, I tell you. Numéro 2. Le coureur a franchi la ligne d'arrivée à toute allure. Now, at toute allure is an expression which means super fast, okay? Like, pooh, toute allure. Le coureur, the runner, comes from courir, to run, a franchi. Can you see the verb here? I can too. A franchi is composed of two things here. Franchi, which is the past participle, and a, which is the auxiliary. Okay? So we know that if it's composed here of an auxiliary and a past participle, it's here a passé composé because avoir is in the present tense. Okay? So, le coureur a franchi la ligne d'arrivée, the arrival line of the, what's that in English? The arrival, the finishing line, that's it. Finishing line, super fast, okay? The runner crossed the finishing line, crossed, because it's in the past tense, super fast. Okay, let's have a look at the last one. You have more examples in your support guide, by the way. Nous réfléchissions à ce problème lorsque tu as téléphoné. So we've got two things happening here. Nous réfléchissions, that's the verb, à ce problème lorsque, that means when, by the way, tu as téléphoné. Okay. Now, have a look at the ending of this first verb here. ONS. Always look at what happens before. I can see an IONS, I can see an ition. Okay? Because that's telling me it's a second group verb. But the fact that it has an IONS is actually, have a look at the imparfait here. Ion. Okay? No matter what group verb it is, it will be ion in the imparfait. So, it's an imparfait. So that means we used to do something or we were doing something. So, nous réfléchissions, we were thinking, or we used to think. We were thinking, it's definitely an imparfait. Okay? We used to think about this problem when, or we were thinking it would be because we have a passé composé coming after. We were thinking about this problem when you, and that's composed, called. Okay? Now again, here it is, the passé composé is here, passé composé is here. Okay? It's a IR verb when you called because it's composed, it's a past tense. Okay, so breathe for a minute. How is that? It's good, isn't it? I mean, I think ultimately if you are very serious about learning the language, it is going to help you a lot being accurate in anything. And when you come to reading a text in an exam, you know, you will know exactly which tense the sentence is happening in. Okay? In a dialogue as well, there will be less confusion about tenses, you know, and also for you to revise how to conjugate things and put verb into context. Okay, that's it for me. Remember, there are more examples in the support guide. If you become a member, you can have access to all these awesome support guides, as well as seeing me live, by the way, which I think is quite good. Anyway, that's it for me. Au revoir, à bientôt, et puis bisous, bisous.